Today marks 9 years since my brother passed away, and business coaches around the world are gonna cringe at this video because I am a coach and I'm showing up vulnerable, and they don't like that. So fuck it. I wanted to film a video. I wanted to talk about some things. I wanted to share with you the importance of mindset when it comes to navigating struggles, and I wanted to show you that having struggles and being vulnerable isn't a bad thing. It makes you human, it makes you real, it makes you in touch with your emotions and with your current experience. And I'm so tired of coaches and other people out there judging people for showing emotions and judging them for being open and honest about what they're going through. And I just want to shine some light on that. So that's what I'm here to do. And the reason I'm wearing this stupid hat is because this morning, I was kind of trying to navigate my way as best as possible, trying not to focus on the anniversary of Derek passing away, trying to be positive and buckle down on some work stuff. And I needed something to pick me up because I just kind of felt a little bit in a funk. So I got changed, put on some like my hippie shirt, put this hat on. I looked in the mirror and I smiled and laughed because I just felt like a little kid putting on this hat. But boom, almost immediately I was hit with a flood of emotions, and all of a sudden the laughter turned to crying, and it turned to releasing a lot of the heaviness and the sadness around this anniversary. So I am still wearing the hat. That is why. Bear with me. So I don't really have anything structured for this video, but it's going to be pretty real, and I'm just going to be seeing what flows through me. And for anyone who's grieving out there and who is watching this video, you're not alone. And I think the biggest message I want to share with you is that you do not need to hide your grief to make other people feel comfortable, because there are so many of us who are grieving, and we should not feel guilty. We should not feel embarrassed. We should not be worried about being judged for fucking feeling sad about losing someone we love. And that's normal. You should not be walking about your day feeling afraid of making other people uncomfortable by your emotions. So I wanted to say that first. Second, I wanted to say just because they're gone physically doesn't mean they're gone. And I have had so many experiences. I mean, Derek was in my dreams last night. He's visiting me, like, we visit all the time in my dreams. He sends signs, we get owls all the time, we get songs from him. Like, there are if you are open and if you believe and if you're open to look for that, to see more than just the physical experience that so many of us are taught is all that there is. If you open your eyes and you look for more of that, I guarantee your loved ones are going to come through. They're going to send you the signs that you're looking for. They are there with you all the time, even if you can't feel it, and even if you don't always see it, and even though it's not the way you want it to be. I think that doesn't make it better. That doesn't justify and take away the pain, but at least it can hopefully provide some relief for you in knowing that they are still around. They're still supporting you, and they just have so much love for you. And when we pass on to the spiritual realm, there is no negative vibration, and all of the low vibrations that we have on earth with like anger, hatred, greed, fear, all of these things, that doesn't exist in the spiritual realm. So all they have is love. So all they have for you is love. And that's important. I think that's something to hold on to remember, and to stay in touch with. I also just wanted to say too, know that if you're grieving, if you've lost someone you love, they're still here watching you. They're still here protecting you. I had a horrible car accident a few years back, driving across the highway, and I hit black ice and lost control, and I flipped, and then I rolled 4 times, and there was this weird, overwhelming sense of peace when this was happening. And I had an out-of-body experience, and I saw Derek at that time too. And later on, like a few months later, I was still kind of coming to terms with the accident and overcoming some anxiety and PTSD and everything driving. And I went to a medium, and I've been to some amazing mediums before to talk with him, and they've always known things that nobody else would know. It's unreal. It's so cool, and I'd love to share some YouTube videos about that someday. So let me know if you'd want to hear about that by commenting below. But this particular reading was about my car accident, and Derek was coming through and just sharing how, he used his energy to protect me and that he was there. And he said like, you saw me for a second. You saw me there for a second, and I was wearing this white t-shirt. And I, like, when I heard this reading, when it came through, that flash was there. And, like, it was so familiar. I remembered that happened. And in other meditations, when I've been way, way out of body in the cosmos and just, like, so at peace with the world, I've been there with Derek. And it's just I just wanted to share that as my proof, I guess, and hopefully it can reaffirm maybe some experiences you've been having as well. And if you haven't had these experiences, hopefully it can give you some hope that there is more, and there is more to it as long as you're open and looking and you're not closing yourself off. Because if you're avoiding it, if you're in fear, if you're like scared that there's more, if you're doubting that there's more, you're not going to see it. There's no way that you can perceive it if that's your energy. So just be open and trust. And I guess the last thing I feel like sharing just goes back to vulnerability and understanding that vulnerability and empathy, because we are all connected. There is no separation between human beings. The separation is all up here. It's in our perception. It's in what we choose to believe. It's in how we judge others. It's how we focus on the negative, and we criticize and want to have this separation. But when you learn to empathize, when you really see yourself in other people, and you can put yourself in their shoes, and you can connect on a different level, you realize we are all the same, and that we all deserve love. We all deserve the best. And being vulnerable, being open, being your truest form of yourself, it helps others. It guides them. It allows them to do the same. We live in this world of fake social media, and that's part of why I wanted to film this video, because yeah, sure, I could show up on video today and look totally fine and act like life is perfect, but who am I lying to, and why am I pretending when I know that everyone has days of struggles? And I know that people can relate just as much to this side of my life and this side of the emotion and the struggle and the overcoming obstacles as they can relate to me posting a perfect picture on a beach somewhere. And I think it's about finding that balance in life and realizing that there is always contrast. There is always good and bad, and or so-called good and bad. And really just being open to the fact that wherever you are right now is okay. It doesn't have to be permanent. It's not going to be permanent. But being vulnerable, being true to where you're at is going to help you so much. And it has the potential to help others as well. So before I keep rambling on just like a lot of different random thoughts that may or may not relate and may or may not work together here, I will wrap this up and just end it with that quote about being kind to everyone you meet, because everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. I think if all of us took on that attitude in our lives, the world would be 1,000,000 times better than how it is right now. Because right now we're so caught up in ourselves, and we're so caught up in what we want and in judging other people and deeming them good enough or bad enough, or just judging people instead of understanding that everyone out here is trying their best with the cards that they've been dealt and with the beliefs they have, the upbringing they have. And you can't control that, but you can control yourself. You can control how you show up and how you view the world and how you treat others. And I shared this on a different video the other day about you have the choice when you're faced with struggle about how you're going to react and who you're going to become. And I see so many people who in their grief or in their trauma or their struggles become really bitter, angry, resentful people. They close off to the world. They don't really give a shit about anyone else. They get really selfish, and selfish in a bad way. And that doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve them. It's not even helping them, but it's a defense mechanism, and it's an attempt to kind of close yourself off and deal with the hurt in that way. And I think if people could realize that dealing with the pain and the struggle from a more empowered and positive place and still finding that love is going to help not only you in your healing journey, but it's going to help everyone around you. And so you have the choice in how you respond to everything that happens. And that doesn't mean acting like everything's perfect when it's not, but it means having a clear head, taking time for yourself to reflect, thinking about how love would show up in this situation, thinking about what would still help others and what would make a positive impact versus, I'm just so hurt in my pain that I want to spread that to everyone else. Because that's where all the problems come from, is our need to bring other people down with us instead of just working on ourselves, doing our own healing, becoming more empowered, finding a way to heal and become the better version of ourselves so that we can uplift and help other people to do that too. And that's a beautiful thing when you see it happen. And that's what I love watching with my clients, is helping them to do that and to navigate that place. So whatever struggle you're going through right now, you are not alone. You are loved. You are worthy and deserving of the best. Please do not let this struggle define you. Please do not let this current reality dictate what you think the rest of your life has to be. You always have the choice and the opportunity every single day to show up in a new way, to show up more empowered, more positive, more loving, more kind, and to follow your passions, to make a difference, to become that better version of yourself. So choose that.